Tuesday evening and we are live on Joy 99.7 FM. This is Geek Squad with your girl, Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. Most of us have laptops, especially employees. We are given work laptops, and the whole idea is to use them for work. But there are times that you don't know certain shortcuts, you don't know how to do certain things on the laptop, so you are not really optimizing it, and you end up not working smarter like you're supposed to do. Tonight, we're going to be having a conversation on how we can make the good use of our work laptop. You don't necessarily have to be an employee, even though that's the focus. Once you have a laptop, you can also learn these shortcuts and different things that we'll be sharing with you on the show tonight. My guest is ready and we'll be introducing him. But before we do that, we would like to share with you what has been happening in the tech space in the past week. So take a listen to the emerging tech trends. We will be back after that.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. My name is Denicia Poma Eje. In our headlines, Excel tests AI-powered co-pilot function. Also, Spotify tests DJ-style mixing for playlist. Adobe launches Acrobat Studio with AI and collaboration tools. And finally, Microsoft hints at cheaper Xbox cloud gaming options. Let's settle for the details now. Microsoft Excel is testing a new Copilot formula that lets users generate summaries, classify data, and create tables using natural language prompts. Similar to a feature Google Sheets added in June, it allows you to reference cells for AI processing. Spotify is rolling out a mixed feature in beta for select premium users, letting them customize track transitions. Users can auto-blend songs or manually tweak volume, EQ, and effects using waveform and beat data. The tool allows for smoother playlist flow, DJ-style mixes for parties, and even collaborative mixed playlists. Availability details remain unclear. Adobe is expanding Acrobat into a full productivity platform with Acrobat Studio, which integrates Adobe Express and AI assistants. Users can upload up to 100 documents, including PDFs, web pages, and Microsoft 365 files into shared PDF spaces that act as collaborative knowledge hubs. And finally, Microsoft is once again signaling plans to make Xbox cloud gaming more affordable. Currently bundled only with Game Pass Ultimate at $19.99 a month, the service could soon expand into cheaper tiers or ad-supported modules. On the official Xbox podcast, JP Jason Ronald said lowering costs would make cloud gaming more accessible, whether by reaching new regions or offering new ways to play. And that's it for this week's episode of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. My name is Denicia Pomaije. I'll catch you same time next week.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. Tonight we're having a conversation on mastering your work laptop. Mastering your work laptop. As an employee, the option for you to be able to use certain shortcuts and master your work laptop. And we are going to be sharing with you tips every employee should know when it comes to using their work laptop. It doesn't have to be your work laptop alone. Any laptop at all, you can use these tips that we'll be sharing with you. I have with me Samuel Boateng, the content creator for Interesting Digital Trends, and he'll be joining me for the conversation tonight. Samuel, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How has your day been?
Oh, it's been great, as usual. A lot of things to do, but yeah, it's been awesome.
Okay. So from the news, we learned something that Microsoft has done with Copilot, and I think it would be great for us to touch on it, how people can use Copilot now, the AI feature, especially in the Excel sheet. Because I mean, when it comes to Excel, it's one of the software applications that
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
people
yeah.
find difficult to use. And now
Yeah.
Copilot is going to be featuring that. I want us to touch a bit on it before we get to the tips we are going to be sharing on using the
So,
laptop.
quick disclaimer: if you are using a cracked version, you're not going to get access to this. It's for those who are using a 365. That means your company has bought the access
The
to it,
Office
or
365, yeah.
yourself, you have your own company that you bought for the people. Well, this feature is quite interesting because everybody knows the power of Excel sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to be able to create your infographics from data that you've collected over a whole period of time and all
Yeah.
that. But without the understanding of how to enter the whole syntax and all these
The
things,
formula and
Yeah.
all of that.
to be able to communicate with the software, it's like it's useless to you. I remember learning all these things, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. When I got to Excel, I was like, oh my god, what is
Yeah, a
this?
lot of people
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it difficult to
It's quite the
really
language.
feel
Yeah,
free on
it's
Excel.
quite So if you're someone who is probably learnt it for a couple of years, you know the shortcuts and all that. But they are making it simple nowadays. I think the feature they are launching is very, very interesting. To be able to use natural language to communicate with an AI to get you the work done within the system is quite interesting for me particular. Why? Because I understand what it can do. I know what I want to get from it. But I might not necessarily know exactly which formula I'm supposed to enter to get the data.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I can call Copilot, equal to Copilot, and then give it a natural instruction, or summarize this one for me, or put this together for me, or get me the responses
Convert
data,
this,
or yes, to an infograph or something. And then I just give it a range D1 to D2 or something for the cells or the rows, then I'm done. I mean, it's quite exciting to see that.
It is.
Yes, those who are like masters of the, how do you call it? The Excel sheets will no longer become masters anymore. I know some people, when you get some company, they can't sack them because without them, the sheets is useless.
No, but there are people like that. They
Yeah,
are
they
very
are masters.
good with Excel. They can just
Yeah.
analyze.
Now
and
the
do something
intern in
with
a
it.
company can compete with you. So you better catch up. Yeah.
Seriously,
Exciting, yeah.
seriously. If you have any questions, you can drop it in our WhatsApp chat 05511119997 05511119997. We are going to be talking about how you can master the use of your work laptop as an employee. You've been given a laptop, you have access to it, sometimes even take it home, but then you are not really maximize the use of it. Tonight we'll be sharing with you certain tips that you can use to make you work smarter. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X at Joy 99.7 FM. You can just check us out if you want to see what is happening. So Samuel, talking about the use of laptops, can we just give some background context? Talking a bit about maybe the operating systems and things of the sort, then we can get into the shortcuts.
Okay, so every machine has its performance limits, what you can do with it. But learn how to have these shortcuts helps us to work faster. I mean, there was a time that I was working on my PC and someone was asking me, what are you doing? Like, it was so fast. I got used to it, like working so fast on it. That
Especially using the keyboard.
yes, just press the swipe here, press this. Like, what's going on? I want to understand exactly what you did, so I have to take my time to take him through. You realize it's the same steps he does, but because of the shortcuts, it looks quite fast, and you get directly to whatever you want to get at. Way like maybe 2 times faster than how long it would take him to right click, refresh, this, that before you get to the particular file. Yeah. So getting these things really help you with efficiency at work instead of just struggling and taking several hours. It's good for you to understand how the Mac OS itself works and how the Windows itself works, because the features are being grown. They are not the same as they used to be before. You don't have to always go to the start menu for everything. There's shortcuts, there's a taskbar, there's task manager, there's a lot on the PC. So if you're able to understand it, your efficiency actually improves. Yeah, I've seen that over time. I've had my fair share of Windows and the Mac OS for a while now, so I understand how both of them can help you to work. And none of them is better than the other in terms of speed. As long as you are able to understand the platform or whatever it can actually help you to work faster.
That is just so true. In fact, just a few months ago, one friend of mine, Ruby, she uses a Mac. And she was just asking me from time to time, like, how can I do this? How can I do that? So sometimes people get a bit familiar with the use of Windows, but when it comes to Mac, it's like there are a few things that they may find difficult. In fact, myself, at the beginning, I'll just go and Google what's the shortcut for this, what's the shortcut for that, and then I got used to it. So for you listening in, I just have a short, I don't know what I call it, a quiz or what, but when you do Control plus B at the same time, what is the effect that you have? Can you share with us? We'll be touching on some of these things, but if you have any idea, Control plus B, what do you get after doing that? Share with us on the WhatsApp number 055 1111997, Control plus B, or even if there are other shortcuts that you know, you can just share that with us and let us know the effect of those before we even get into that part of the conversation. So you made a very good statement, Samuel, talking about the Mac OS and then also the Windows, and you're saying one is not better than the other. But
As long
can we
as-
just touch a bit on that? In terms
So
of
they are all computer systems. So basically, all you have to understand is that, for example, if you want to get to a file in Windows, it's using the file explorer. On the Mac is a finder. So it's
Yes.
like it's basically the same thing, but you will be able to understand what the finder does and what the explorer does now. Will get you to the file whether faster or because it's the same PDF you have across platforms. So understanding the OS or whatever you are using is the first thing you must do, and that will inform the kind of shortcuts that you use. So the Control B on the phone might be different. The Control B on the Mac might be different. The Control B on the how do you call it? Windows might be different. They are similar most of the time, but what does it do for you on your Windows? Exactly. So I think that's one thing that I would advise people to do first. Understand where you are coming from, the platform you are using first, before you decide to jump in and start learning shortcuts. Because if you learn Control B or Control X,
you
and
not find control on your
uh,
Mac.
yeah,
If that's
yeah,
what
and you are lost.
using.
Yeah, you get it. So I remember I had a lot of alt this, alt that.
Yes,
But when I
yes.
jumped to the whole, it was different altogether.
Yes, on the Mac,
Especially the
yes.
softwares I also use are very important.
Yeah.
So if you're using software like editing softwares, you realize that your Control B
The
also does
shortcuts,
something else.
Exactly.
Yes. So the general idea is for you to be able to use it. Don't rush in absorbing all at a go. I remember in school I was trying to learn Control X, Control C, Control V. It felt like it was quiz. Like I had to memorize it. Like what is Control S? Control S is cards. Control S. Then you go Control V. What does X do with cards? It looks like scissors. X is like scissors. Then you are trying to put the thing into your memory. But the more you use it, I don't even have to.
Seriously, now I find it a bit interesting when we have people who are using laptops and they are not using those shortcuts.
Exactly.
Like somebody will go and click,
Exactly.
right click,
Exactly.
copy,
Yes.
and then right click, paste. And I'm
Yes.
wondering, why can't you just, please, let's just delve into the shortcuts so that people can learn. Because I'm
So-
sure by now they're just wondering, what are we talking about?
My favorite, most easiest shortcut in the world is Control C, which is a copy. If you want to move one file from one place to another, if you want to move a text from one place to another,
So Control C is for Windows.
yes. So what the copy does is that it doesn't move the file itself. It creates a copy on what we call a clipboard. Clipboard is like a temporary memory where they keep the file, whatever information you've copied. So wherever you go next, you can paste it. So there's something called the Apple ecosystem. You can copy from one device and go and paste in the other device. So when they are all on one network, they use the same clipboard. That it happens also on Windows. So if your system, the phone you're using or whatever device you're using are on the same clipboard, when you press Control C on any of the devices, you can go and paste it anywhere else. So that's why you're able to copy text from the internet. So you see a browser, you are interested in something that you've written, you just highlight the area, Control C, then you go to your Excel or whatever report you're writing, Control V, and you can paste it. Yeah.
And for Mac users.
The Mac users, so we alternating between Control and Command.
And Command, yeah.
So for Mac users, it's Command V. That's CMDV on the keyboard. You can see it. The control is CTRL on the keyboard. If you can also see it.
So Control V will be pasting
To
it.
paste it.
Yeah.
Control
The
C
will be
to copy.
it.
And its brother is Control X. X is to cut it. It's like remove it from its permanent place to another permanent
Yeah. So just
place.
giving an example to this, like maybe you are typing in a document, you
Yes.
type the whole sentence,
Yes.
you want to copy it and put it on another part of that document,
Yes.
or maybe on a different document altogether. You use the Control C.
Yes.
That leaves the text on the original document, and then it pastes it with the Control V on the new document that you have. But the Control X, the difference will be that it will just take it away from the current document you have and then post it
Yes.
on the
So let's say
new
you are
one.
copying assignment, and the person sent you the file. You want
I
to
like that.
adjust it in your own way. You open the first person's account, the document, and you highlight the area you want to copy. Control C. You go to your document and you paste it. Control
Yeah.
V. So with that, you don't get to cut out of the person's document because there's a reference. You don't want to destroy that document. You're just looking at it to do your own work, right? And then the one that you want to move is when maybe there's a particular, let's say, content that you added to that place for you. So I did 1B for you. So you just Control C. It will move it from the original file.
Yeah.
Wherever you paste it, it becomes the permanent
The
new
control
place for
X,
it.
yeah.
So you can't find it the old place. You can find it in the new place.
Okay, so we can talk about another one, another shortcut.
Okay, so we have undo and redo. This is very important shortcut because it's everywhere. Control C, Control V is also everywhere.
Yeah.
Almost all the softwares that we use, you can copy videos, can copy pictures, can copy text. The Control Z is the undo, and Control Y is the redo. To be able to undo in pieces is one of the many reasons why people like using machines, because it's like writing something. Once you're writing a book, it's permanent, but if you're able to undo it, meaning you reverse whatever you've committed to the machine, it can take it back to how it was before the previous state. So
Yeah.
Control plus Z or Command plus Z
So
will
it's
undo.
pressing these keys at the same time.
Yes.
Whatever we're saying.
So I've seen people do this. They press Command and they jump. It's like they want to bounce, and you press Z.
At the same time.
It will not do. So you have to put your hand on the Control and you press the Z in addition. So another tip: if you're working with all these shortcuts, and especially on your Windows, and you're using Shift a lot, Shift has this thing. When you press it for a long time, it has this thing that will turn on utility. So be careful when you don't over press the Shift. For Command and Control, you can press and hold it as much as you want.
Yeah.
Alt same, but the Shift has this how do you call it, option in it for when
Yeah.
you press and hold for long.
Okay,
So-
so we've spoken about those two.
Yeah, Control Z undo,
Mm-hmm.
Control Y redo. So if you undo something, you can make it come back by with the Control Y.
Redo.
Yes. So the same with the Mac, Command Z, Command Shift Z, Command Shift Z. So, or you can do Shift Command Z. I mean, the order doesn't really matter. All you have to know is that when you add Shift to the Command Z for Mac, it will do the opposite of what it did. So if it's redo, it will if you undo, it will redo. That's what it makes sense. Yeah. And then we have the most used shortcut in the world, Control A. If you have a whole text that you want to select or a whole group of pictures, for example, someone give you a folder, you want to copy everything from the folder. You open it, you press Control A, everything is selected.
Yeah.
You can quickly delete things instead of just press delete 1, delete 2, delete
Select
3.
all, yeah.
Yeah, so you
can
select
just
everything
select all.
and delete. So Control A, then hit the delete button, or Control. You want to copy everything on the document.
Everything, yeah.
We've already learned about copy, so Control A, Control C.
Yeah. So talking about that, what comes to my mind is the copy that we said. It could be that you are just selecting a portion of it. So that
Yes,
one you can go ahead
you
and
can
but if you
select
want to select
Everything.
everything.
Instead of scrolling,
Yes,
then you're
yes.
scrolling.
Yeah.
Someone will click and drag.
It's true. And
Just
sometimes you get to somewhere and what you have already selected just becomes unselected. You have to start
exactly.
again.
Yeah, I've had that issue before. So why don't you just press Control A
Yeah.
and Control V? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you copy everything from that place, whether it's a picture, movie, or whatever it may be. And then we have to be able to switch between tabs. When you say tabs, it's like sometimes you have multiple softwares you've opened. You've opened Microsoft Word, you've opened Chrome, you've opened any other software.
Something in a
So for
PDF,
Mozilla Firefox or something like that. And you want to alternate between the two, instead of just clicking down and go and click and go and click. You just press Alt Tab, and once your hand is on it, you see a whole list of other apps that you've opened.
Yeah. My
And they
husband
keep-
uses that a lot.
Yes. It is. It's a very
One
nice
of the
trick.
things I hardly use though, but I know it's there.
Oh, yeah. My favorite is the swiping swiping between windows or desktops.
Yeah.
It's exciting to be able to do that. Why? Because it's like your efficiency is more high. I feel, because I open one tab, one desktop here, open a desktop here. I swipe between the two quickly, and I can get the work done. Yeah. So it's on Windows and it's on Mac.
Yeah.
You can swipe between the two. So instead of just Alt Tab, why don't you open a new desktop and have that window open on the next one? So you are working on this document, you swipe to look at the other one, you copy whatever you need to do, you switch between the two.
Yeah.
So Alt Tab, switching between programs and Windows.
Yeah, I think what I like is the use of hand gestures to, when you spoke about
Yeah,
swiping.
swiping.
Yeah, it's really just
So
good
4
to
fingers
use
on the
yeah.
touch.
But you can even configure it to what you want.
Yes.
Yeah,
If you're using an
some
old
of them.
PC, it might not necessarily work. So if you're having an issue like that, don't worry. Maybe it might be the PC you're using.
You just
so
have to use whatever default it is.
Yes. So you check your mouse properties, swiping properties, and you see all those gestures.
Got it. So it's good that we have spoken about that, being able to switch between windows or tabs using the Alt and the Tab. There's one thing that we would want to also touch on, which is very important. In fact, I entered someone's office and it's just interesting. The person just got up from her desk, went around to do certain things, and left her PC just as it was. And I remember when she got back, I told her, I've sent an email to your boss to say you have resigned.
So
We want to talk about how to lock screens,
yeah.
especially if you're working in a space that is public or there are other people there. Can we just talk about some of the shortcuts
If you
for locking
work
the
with a
screen?
company that even deals with a lot of people's information,
Yeah,
what you did is actually criminal. To get up and leave your PC,
it's not
yes,
right.
it's against policy.
It's not right.
It's against the privacy of the people, the users that you're handling. It's very, very, very unsafe. So you must know the shortcut. Instead of you going through the menu, going to look for lock, the shortcut is Windows plus L. That's all. Simple.
Yeah.
Windows plus L.
It's
And then
important that we know that. And
Yeah.
then for Mac users as well.
wait, before that, you must actually have a password on your PC.
By all means.
Yeah, so if you lock it without a password, I mean, someone just can hit the space bar.
That's true. I like that you brought that up. It's so important. The person will just come, it's like they'll just enter and they are
For
good
Mac
to go.
users, it's Control, Command, and Kill.
Yeah.
Yes, very important. I always use it all the time. Immediately I get up, Windows L. Windows L.
It's very, very
Yes.
important that we
You don't need to close your
we
whole PC.
familiarize ourselves
before you
with
can do
it.
that, yeah.
Yes. We need to really get them. I mean, get people to be able to
Mm-hmm,
use that. And all the things that we are talking about, you don't do one before the other. When it comes to the pressing of the keys, it's at the same time. So talking about Windows and L, you are pressing it at the same time. And the
Yes.
same for the Mac users too. When you're pressing the command and the Q, it's all at the same time. So let's just go over the locking of the screens, because I think this is so important, especially in this cybersecurity age now, and we just need to let people be aware. You can go to a cafe and be working
Yes,
there. In
and
fact,
just-
I've actually had those experiences.
Yeah.
People are there in an office, a public working space, or probably a cafeteria, and
They just get up,
go
have
to
a
the
call,
washroom,
yeah,
have
and
a
they leave
phone.
the PC.
They just leave their
You
PC
can't be arrested
without
'cause
locking.
You are giving
locking it.
people's information out easily.
It's
Your
not
machine is
right.
accessible by anyone at all. So you don't know about these hackers. They can just do anything to your machine.
It's true.
So you have to be very careful. The
Yeah.
best thing to do is to always make sure that it's locked before you make any move.
Yeah.
And it's quite easy. It's not closing of the laptop. Just Windows
And
plus the L. If you press it and you see that your start menu has opened with an L inside, meaning that you press the Windows and you let go and you press the L.
Yeah.
Make sure you are pressing them together. Windows, if you like, use two fingers, one on the Windows and one on the L.
At the same time, then command and
You hold them
Q
together till you
also.
see that your screen is locked. Yeah, good to go.
yeah,
And for the Mac users, Control, Command plus Q.
yeah.
Same Control, Command plus Q. If you have a touch bar too, you just hit the top where the fingerprint is and it will lock the screen.
Yeah,
Command, Control plus Q.
it's very important.
Oh yeah, my favorite screenshots. I have a lot of favorites. I use so many shortcuts that
Talk about screenshots and screen recordings as
Yes.
well. Yeah,
I really love shortcuts, like the screenshots, because of something I try to teach people certain things over WhatsApp, on call. How do I get it done? Sometimes I also work with a client that needs, maybe I want to see the photos you're editing, or I want to see what's the progress of what's going on. Oh, this
just take.
quick screenshots. Windows Shift S, Windows Shift plus S, and there's a pop-up that will appear. You just take a screenshot and then it will save it. You don't check the folder for my pictures, or it will give you the option for you to save it yourself. You can use the sniping tool for that purpose. And for Mac, it's Command Shift plus 4. I remember I had used the Windows Shift plus S a lot on the Windows. When I switched to a Mac, I was struggling every day. I was trying to look for the shortcut for screenshots. It's Command Shift plus 4, and then you can easily take your screenshots, and it will save directly to the desktop for the Mac.
That is one of the shortcuts that I really searched for, and I searched for it quite a number of times because before it got stuck, like being able to do the screenshots. Yeah, command shift and then 4, and then also if you want to do screen recording, so for the work that I do, for instance, testing, sometimes you have to screen record whatever happened just to report a bug or report any issue that you've had. So with that one, instead of the 4, it's 5.
Yeah.
Instead of the 4, it's 5. You can just use that. So command shift and then 4. So command shift 4, what it does is that it gives you an option to be able to have a selected area to
You see
take
that
a
your cursor will
screenshot.
change.
Yes.
You can drag over the area. And then
Yes, but then when you use command shift and
5.
3 gives you takes a screenshot
the
of
window.
the whole
Okay.
thing.
Have you tried the 5?
The 5 is the recording.
Oh yeah. They give
Screen
the option at the
recording.
bottom with the
Yeah,
three.
exactly.
Yes, to
The
choose.
screen recording, and then you can just go ahead.
With all these, you can actually install other apps to also help you to make
Mhm,
it more
mhm,
efficient.
mhm.
So if you're a teacher, you teach a lot of people using your PC, you can install standard software, third-party software to help you with that. So you can highlight, blur, and circle some certain portions of your screenshot. But the default one for you to use is the Windows Shift plus S, Command Shift and 4, and immediately saves either on your desktop or your pictures folder on your PC.
Yeah, yeah. So at least you've spoken about some of the keyboard shortcuts to help you work smarter, And I think it'll be good for us to talk about being able to open a new tab too, because it's also important. You may be working in something and then you just want to go ahead and open a new tab.
So usually when I'm browsing, sometimes I get an idea. You have a couple of ideas or something you want to quickly search. You just press Control plus T, and to open a new tab next to the old tab you're working on. You don't have to lose that one. I have a lot of tabs open, so I often use this a lot. Control plus T opens the new tab. Control Command Shift plus T will reopen the closed tab that you've opened before. So what happens is that sometimes your machine can shut down, light out, or anything of such, and the whole Chrome saves the tabs you've opened. Like if you have a lot of things you're working on, and you come back and you open it fresh, sometimes it's gone. Command Shift plus T or Control Shift plus T will reopen all the tabs that you opened before. It creates a session where if it's 53 tabs or 20 tabs or whatever you open, it will reopen all of them again.
I usually don't like that though. Because if
Depends on-
I've shut down or if I've restarted the PC, my idea is I did it for a purpose. So why do you open all of them for
You can
me
mistakenly
again?
close your tab.
Anyway, that is also
Especially
there.
doing research that you're on fire, you are working, and you mistakenly click it. You want to minimize and you end up closing. Yeah, I've had that experience before. Everything is gone. So I quickly just press Command Shift plus C and it pops back up. It has
Okay.
saved me a lot of times.
All right. What about you're working on something, you see a particular, it could be an article on the web and you want to go ahead and bookmark it. Let's just share the.
Okay, bookmarks are like save for watch later, save for later. So you just press Command plus D or Control plus D on the Windows, and immediately it saves a bookmark on it. You can check the top corner. You see bookmarks, the list of it, whatever you saved, and so it even allows you to enter the name for the
that
particular.
you want to
Yes.
use.
So there might be important things that you get to see on the web as you are browsing from time to time. If you don't have time to finish everything at that moment and you want to save it for another time,
It's one of the features I use a lot.
yes, good
Has
websites,
a whole
important, yes, because I mean the internet is full of a lot of things. So if you want to get it right, you have to keep saving the pages. If you want to bookmark a page, it's Control plus D. For mark, it's Command plus D. You see, we say plus because it must be done together.
Yeah.
Control plus
So you
D,
do it at the same
Command
time.
plus D.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody's favorite shortcut for browsing, refresh.
But it's interesting. Some of these things I know them, but I think I have to start going back to it because we are all trying to work smarter now.
Yeah.
Once you're already on the keyboard, you can just go ahead and click either the command or the control. You add the R to it, and then you can refresh a web page that you have already opened.
You can never go wrong.
Okay, so it will be good for us to now come to files. I think we've spoken a bit.
Oh, we don't talk about the refresh. F5.
Yes, the F5 and the command.
Do you know the reason I usually
I
like
think
this
I
shortcut?
just mentioned it for Mac users.
Yeah, I love the shortcut because of when I was in school, there was whenever I write quizzes, instead of trying to remember Control plus Command plus, then you can play anything in your head. That one is just one number, F5. So whenever the question
They
comes
really
out,
like
what do
it.
we refresh? Oh, F5. So I
Then
can
you just go
remember a lot
ahead
of them.
and do that.
So remember we had these F buttons at the top.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it. So for Macs, it's Command plus R.
Yeah.
That's something I've been struggling with for a while myself. So I'm trying to learn it. We all learn
That's
it.
what I just mentioned.
I usually-
I hardly even use
Because of the
that
F5, I keep
You are
looking for the
looking
5
for
on the
it.
keyboard. I'm like,
one. You are on the wrong
Yeah,
operating system at the moment, so go ahead. and-
Command plus R would actually help you with that. Command plus R. Refresh your browser, whatever you're using. Yeah.
Great. All right, so we can move to the files and data management. Then, what are some of the things that can be done, especially to prevent data losses? It would be good for us to just check that we are talking about how people can have these tips to help them work smarter. So let's talk about files and data management when it comes to saving information. And I think we had one conversation here when somebody said three main ways. Person will save one on an external, one on cloud, and then also on on the PC or what
Yeah.
they are working
So
with. So can we just
local
talk about
backup,
that? Yeah.
cloud backup,
Yeah.
and then maybe the one they're using for the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for you to do that. If you're not working with sensitive files, I feel like you can't necessarily lose from time to time. But if you are just using a simple your files, you can have the cloud backup as your main reference point. The shortcut for creating and organizing these files play a major role in my life because I feel like without them, the files that we have in our PCs will be scattered.
Yeah.
That's why the original manufacturers of the computers themselves decided to do folders for pictures, screenshots, so they are not
Their
flooded by it.
defaults.
Yes,
Exactly.
downloads. So that means the organization on PCs are very important, so
It's
that you
true.
don't now. Where's my file? Why did I save this? No, 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 you're confused. So how do we end up creating these? How do you call it? Shortcuts. They are already default on the PC.
Mm-hmm.
How do we then use them? You just have to probably check maybe Google or something. But we are going to just mention a few of them then.
Yeah.
You sort of
Yeah.
memorize it.
Yeah.
So
I think how to save them, especially like my company, for instance, just even some months back that we even rolled this out, especially because most of us work remotely. How you can save different files so that at any point in time, it's not just sitting on your machine or your PC, but others can have access to it, right? The folders, how we are naming
organizing
it, and
them,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
So file organization is very important. There's a time that I realized that how important it was because of the number of documents we're creating.
Yeah.
So it becomes a lot. So if you're working for a particular company and want to name it, let's say Joy, you call Joy 1, Joy 2, Joy 3, and it becomes
It's true.
so much ahead.
You don't really know what.
Yeah, so adding dates, underscores, and all those things help
Mhm.
us to able to identify them easily. So we need to be able to have a system. Usually, you have a conversation with whoever you're working with as a team. What kind of system do we need to employ? Naming system. Do we add days? Do we add months? Or whoever worked on its name as an author or something? Just be able to distinguish between the files. Yes, it's very important when you're working on pieces with such
Yeah, and
options.
like the example I was given earlier, especially when you're working in a team and you have one particular central point of saving files with the organized folders and all that, it's essential to also give access based on people who have the permissions to those documents, right?
Yeah.
So that, especially with Google, for instance, when you are sharing any file at any point, whether it's Google Sheet or Google Docs, you're usually prompted what kind of access the person can have, whether it's access to view the document, edit the document, or just be able to comment on the document. And it's important that we know these things. So if you are saving any file, we've spoken about the name conversions, for instance, you have to check the name that you give to the file that you have saved, and then you check the permissions to if other people need to have access to that file that you have saved, how they have that access, if the right permissions have been given to them. I think it's good.
Working online is where these things are begin to play because if there's a file that we all need access to, some especially with accounts, some people might you don't know who so we have levels in the office space, the junior levels, senior levels, and some people might not understand the sensitivity of the document itself. So you can give reading access, not editing access to specific files or folders, so people can easily go there to copy or to be able to access certain information that they need. And the level that they go as it goes up, you give more options like editing, moving the file from the space, and so on and so forth. So you must be careful, not just share anything at all with anyone, especially if the person is outside the company. You just give reading access to the person so the person can access the file, read it, and not necessarily edit the file itself.
Yeah, that's good. I think you touched on the default folders that's already usually on our PCs, like downloads, documents, and things like that. Can we talk about how we can organize folders also logically? Because there are times that you're looking for something and it's difficult, even though you have saved it and put it in a folder, because of how it has been saved, you may find it difficult to even look for that. So can we just give a structure to how people can save files apart from the name conversions that we've spoken about?
Okay.
Then they can at least have it well organized to have easy access to it.
Okay, so let's talk about files sizes and all that. So, for instance, if you have a file that if you have a machine that has partitions,
Mm-hmm.
your files are very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You might not necessarily want to save them on the desktop because sooner or later that's where the Windows or the operating system lies.
Mm-hmm.
So sooner or later your machine become full whilst you have a partition for saving your files. So if you have a partition where your disk is divided into two, anytime you finish working on a file that is heavy, you move it to that particular partition. A partition is like dividing your disk into smaller sections or smaller parts to save your file. This helps when you have a crash in your Windows system. For example, if you have operating system in the first partition, which is like a folder, but it's a big folder. Like you divide your hard disk into portions. If you have your Windows in one part and it crashes, your file. I don't know if you have experienced that before.
I know what you're talking
Your
about.
Windows can crash. Yeah.
I think it would be good for us to just touch on it a bit so that someone even knows what to do. Because for someone, all they know is I have my PC and I'm just using it. So they have one huge hard disk drive. Everything is being saved there. They don't even do anything about partition or anything. So let's just break it down for a listener who probably has no idea what we are talking about, for them to know what to even do in the first place to partition the drive and then where to save what and all.
So for the partition class, we have to do it another time because
it will take time.
I want to explain it one by one, but let me just say this so that be easy. If you are fortunate, usually when you open your machine and you go to Windows plus E, which is your Explorer or your Finder, which is either on Mac or Windows, when you open that section, you will notice your disk, your first hard disk, saying my computer, then
my PC,
my PC, then you can see the hard disk space. Sometimes it has two hard disks on your PC, local disk A, local disk B. Yes, it can come from the same drive inside the machine, which has been partitioned, or it could be that you have multiple drives on the machine.
Yeah.
Why do we have that? We have that to be able to organize our files so that you do not lose them in case of any crashes or accidents that happen on the operating system itself.
Yeah.
So what we do is that we have these partitions there to back us up, help us with the backup, local backup. I mean, so you have let's say you have two hard disks on the machine. You force your mother to buy your laptop with two hard disks. If you're working on your project work, as you are done working on the first hard disk, which is where your Windows and everything, your desktop, your pictures and everything are, you make a copy, then you go to that section and go and paste it in the second hard disk or second partition.
Yeah.
So in the partition, you can actually create it out. We'll have to talk about this and that. It's a longer steps. We'll just use that that time to discuss it further. But for now, when you open it and you see two disks, you can copy and move your files to that place. That's one. In that space, there's nothing like any folder. So you have to sit down and create these folders to be able to understand where these files are going.
What is going?
Yes, so that is where you have to now create your own new downloads folder, your own new documents folder, your own new pictures folder.
And all
so when
that.
you open, you know exactly where you are going.
Where you have placed the different things. You made a statement earlier that people should not really save on their desktops. We would touch on where they can save. But before we do that, just take a quick listen to this. We'll be right back afterwards.
Joy 99.7 FM.
One billionaire, three secret families,
Who are those people?
They're Daddy's third family.
polygamous at heart, but the man always has the love of his life.
That Lily thinks that she has won. Well, I'm sorry because she's mistaken. She may have won the battle, but she has not won the war.
You'll not let them beat me.
That's the spirit girl.
Don't ask me not to love him because I can't do that.
Think it's true love.
You will pay for this.
Don't miss the twists and turns of sibling rivalry, fueled by their angry mothers.
Family Jewels showing every Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on Joy Prime.
99.7 FM.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. Tonight we are sharing with you tips that you can use to make you work smarter as an employee. And I'm having a conversation with Samuel Boatin, the content creator for interesting digital trends. Just before we went on the break, someone made a very profound statement talking about us not always saving on our desktop. And this is so true. Sometimes you see someone's laptop and there are so many things scattered on the desktop. Samuel, where should we save instead of saving on the desktop? I think it starts with what you are saving. So can we just talk about that?
So someone said that if I see your desktop, I can tell how organized you are in life.
Yes, I saw a picture like that too. It's true.
Don't put everything on your desktop. Your desktop is meant for things that you use almost every day or on the go. The things that you're doing now, the projects you're working on that you quickly need access to. Your files are supposed to be saved into different folders. So if it's pictures, there's a pictures folder for your PC. So you'd always navigate to that folder. It's usually on the quick access or quick link bar. When you are trying to save something, it's on the left hand side. Or you can just go to my PC and go to users and you find all the folders names inside. My PC, users, and it's all there. And then you can go to, if it's a picture, you go to the pictures folder and save the file in there. If it is video, you can go to the videos folder and save it in there. Or you can create your own folder in the partition, as I said earlier, to be saving your files there. For example, you like a lot of movies, create a movie folder and save it there. If you think you have been to copy a lot of movies or download a lot of movies, why don't you create a folder inside your downloads known as movies and you save your files in there. So you save your, so anytime you need to access your movies, just go to your Windows E, go to your File Explorer, go to downloads, and then you see the movies folder and you can easily access it. Instead of just everything being cluttered and classed all over the place, it makes it very hard for your PC to do something we even call indexing. Indexing.
You're finding what
so
needs to be
if you're
found.
trying to find, usually when you use a search and you're trying to find something on a PC, there's something that the PC goes through called indexing to be able to allocate or find each file and where they exist. If they are all organized in a particular place, it will help you to easily be able to find it.
That's so important. I mean, talking about the indexing and being able to find things easily, can we also talk about the fact that sometimes we just have to free storage on our PCs?
Oh yeah,
talking about the organization of folders and files and all that.
It is not everything you leave on your machine. Some files are temporary. You can't leave it forever there. Especially when you are working on a project and you download this picture, download that picture, then it becomes plenty. When you're done with the project, especially the PowerPoint or something you're working on, just go select all of them and delete them. And the shortcut for the delete is Shift plus delete. That's a permanent delete. Remember, it is permanent. If you don't want to do permanent delete, don't add
you
a
can
shift.
just do your delete. It will be your recycle bin just in case you made a mistake. You can go and restore it.
But the risk about that is that the more you save your bin, the more your machine is also getting full. So if you want to save space, make sure that your bin itself is always empty. So you can, maybe you're working that day, you can just delete quickly. At the end of the day, you just check through, okay, these files, are they reasonable? Do I need them? If you don't need them, then you empty the trash or the bin. If not, you always add a Shift plus delete and then you're good to go.
It's very important that we do that.
For unmarked to command delete, to move it to the bin. Empty the trash afterwards, clicking on the icon down there.
I know we've spoken a bit about the files and all that, and I think on touching on the different shortcuts, we didn't touch on Control S. You know, sometimes you are typing something in if you're not
lifesaver.
careful.
Control S is a lifesaver. So you're working on a Microsoft Word document, your project, you finish chapter 5, and then you have to get up and go and do something. Your laptop is plug and play. ECG will get to you, but if you're able to remember the Control plus S, you get to ECG. You are safe because every time you're supposed to be saving your file, there's automatic save, but the timing between that also sometimes does not really help. So whenever you need to take a break, Control plus S is your savior. You start a new file, Control plus S. You save it, add a name. Remember, if it's a document, don't save it on your desktop. Save it inside the document folder. Give it a proper name and press save.
And I think from time to time, as users, we need to just check what we have on our desktops too, and then
reorganize,
clean things up.
Yes.
There's an option for you to even do auto organize, as in it will just go ahead and check the different folders. You know, sometimes you can just drag and drop onto the desktop. You have different things scattered, but you have an option to auto arrange the different files or folders that are on your desktop. But from time to time, check it. Is this supposed to be here? If not, take it off and put it at the right place. If it's a folder in your documents, or if they are documents, you can just place it in you can also create new folders based on what you do. So I also do that a lot. different clients or different projects that I work on, I have different folders. And sometimes even for these folders that have been created, example, if I know I work at Joy, I have Joy folder, and that Joy folder, maybe I have Geek Squad, I have something for news, like all those ones also created. So at any point in time, when you're searching for something, it's just so easy.
You have an infinite number of folders inside the folder.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're able to trace what we call the parent folder to be able to get access to the child, which is the main file that you actually need. So for, as you said, for Joy, you can do Joy, maybe 2025 is where you started working at Joy, or 2024, Joy 2024.
I like that party.
Then you need to create another year. There's a whole new year you've entered. You can create Joy 2025 so that the files don't mix up. Then you start working on the new folder. Whenever you need to copy it, you just move it. Just copy it.
I think this is a good takeout for me. I'm going to be using that because I usually have the folders, but I've not really thought about putting them into different years. It'll be good for you to just go over that again.
Okay, so I personally have been working on different projects. So if I'm in a particular year and I'm done with it, some people even do quarters. So maybe Joy quarter 1, then you create a new folder, Joy quarter 2, and the year. So Joy quarter 1, 2025, Joy quarter 2, 2025. Yeah. So with that, you're able to easily navigate between without it being so clustered. Especially when you create a lot. Imagine someone doing news articles every day, and then he has all the files in one place. Everything just so many years. So creating a folder for each year or quarter or whatever half you are at would help you to be able to stay organized.
Yeah,
very important.
I think it depends on the number of documents that you interact with.
Yes, and whenever you need to find any file, your boss say, last year we did this thing, the presentation at this thing. Yeah, how did I name that presentation? You see, it's a whole new confusion.
Yeah.
So you can find a folder, you know that, okay, 2025, first quarter, this was a folder, You go in, all the presentations are in a particular folder, you're good to go.
It's really so important that we do that. Okay, in our internet world now, it will be good for us to just touch on online behavior, right? When it comes to the use of our office laptops, especially for employees. What are some of the things that we can do to reduce risk of malware? We can just talk about those quickly before we wrap up.
First, I'll tell you to make sure you have a good antivirus. So get a very good antivirus. First, that's the base thing. With Windows, we have Windows Defender, which is the default antivirus which is on the system. If you're able to stay up to date with that, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. As long as you are not someone who uses the office laptop for the wrong things, you are safe. Do not visit websites that are not having S after the HTTP. So if you go to the browser, when you're browsing at the very top, you see HTTPS. So files, a website that doesn't have the S means that the website is not secure.
It's important that they use sites that are secure.
Especially when you're working with very sensitive files. You know what you're working on. It's very important. So we have to also check every time that you're using the site that is
What
very
about downloads too?
Downloads, yes. You also download from only site that maybe your office has authorized or you yourself you are confirmed before you open, because a lot of these viruses do not come from. At first, we used to be pen drives where you take something from someone and you connect to your PC. Now, most of these viruses come from downloading things. Your email. When you go to your spam session and you just open anything at all and you click, you could download something.
Okay.
You download stuff from your website that have unsolicited softwares.
Yeah.
You just go there, download anything at all.
All right.
Yes, you should be careful. That's why nowadays some companies have very strong firewalls. You can't install anything until they give you permission.
It's supposed to be the case, because before you know it, you've gone to install something and now you are given issues. They have to check and work on that. I think talking about how people can just make good use of their office laptop, it would be good for us to talk about system maintenance and care, right? And with this, I'm just going to start with the first examples. Laptops especially, where we place them. You know, there are times that the person has it directly sitting on the bed
pillow,
or on the table without any ventilation. Can we just talk about some of the things that they can do in terms of being able to have proper care and maintenance for
the machines, laptops? Just like human beings, also breathe. So we have to watch wherever we place them, because the fans suck in a lot of air, especially when they're working with gaming PCs. You have to find a good position where there's no dust, an environment that has no liquids to be able to work in. Because the more you work in these environments, you think it might not necessarily do anything the first day you put your laptop on your pillow, on the bed, or anything like that. But if it's something that you often do continuously, you end up sucking more dust into the system, and sooner or later your fans will be blocked. That's why your machine will end up slowing down. It
So
is that.
we really have to check that. We'll touch on some more, but before that, we'd like to share with you the quick tech fixes. We will be back after that.
Hi everyone, I am Michelle Ejekum, and as usual, I bring you some tech quick fixes and tips right here on Joy Geek Squad. Want your phone to last longer throughout the day? Well, here are some simple tips you can follow. 1. Lower screen brightness. Reduce brightness or enable auto brightness to save power. 2. Turn off unused features. Disable Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or GPS when not in use. 3. Close background apps. Stop apps running in the background to conserve energy. 4. Use battery saver mode. Enable this feature to optimize performance and reduce drain. 5. Avoid extreme temperatures. Keep your phone away from heat or cold, which can damage the battery. And that's it. Keep your phone running longer with these easy habits.
Back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Tonight we've been having a conversation on how you can make good use of your work laptop, and I'm having a conversation with Samuel Boateng, the content creator for interesting digital trends. Just before we went on the break, we wanted to touch on some maintenance and care you can have for your PC, and I just want to share these tips with you. It's so important. I know one of them, I'm very guilty of it, restarting your laptop regularly. There are times that you are just so focused on what you are doing, you hardly do it. This keeps the system running smoothly. So as much as possible, if you can, try and do it daily. If not, at least weekly, try and restart it, shut it down, let it boot. Is so important. Installing of updates when prompted. There are times that there are updates and we don't really focus on them. Let's be checking that, because the updates will help us improve security and performance as well. Being able to clear cache and temporary files. Sometimes this slows down the system, so we also have to check this in order to have the proper care for our laptops. Another thing is disconnecting external devices safely. You have a pen drive plugged in or a flash drive plugged in, you have to check and eject it the right way. Is so important. And then keeping the laptop charged or plugged in during long meetings. We have to check to prevent this from happening as much as possible. Some more 20 seconds, final words, and then we are done.
Yeah, take care of your machines as much as you take care of yourself.
I like that. Take care of your machine as much as you take care of yourself. This has been Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. A very big thank you to you, Samuel Boateng. Big thank you to you, our listener, and the entire technical team, Anita, Crispy, and also Prince Afo, my producer. God willing, next week we will be back. Up next is news by Michael.